I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous for the recovery. It's almost like unbelievable it's kind of like I'm in disbelief that I'm actually gonna have results. And so with losing 100 pounds, I knew that skin removal surgeries and probably cosmetic procedures was something that I would want to look into. And I started doing consultations pretty early on, actually, into my weight loss, just because I wanted to have plenty of opinions. And I've been told actually by several plastic surgeons that I would probably need a full brachioplasty, which is a scar all the way from the elbow to the arm, and it would be extended as well. And after thinking about it a lot and living with the loose skin and stubborn fat, honestly, I decided that somewhat morbid surgery and big scar would be worth it for me. Even though I'm 19 years old, I don't want to be all scarred up, but I think that living with a body that I'm just so uncomfortable in at such a young age is something that I just decided was worth going through these procedures for. However, what has been a complete game changer for me was meeting with Dr. Amron and being diagnosed with lipedema. And that's because what he said was, you may not need this full brachioplasty procedure that you've been told that you need because of this lipedema. The lipedema is in my arm. It's about, he said, like this thick of a layer of lipedema fat that is constantly stretching out my skin more and more and more. And while I've been here thinking that, oh, well, I'll probably just need a lot of, like they'll need to remove a lot of it in a brachioplasty, what he has said is that taking out this lipedema fat is going to eliminate the stretching of the skin, that factor, and I may not need to have these crazy scars going all over my upper body. So with being told that I would need all these procedures, like I said, I decided that it would be worth it for me. But you know, I'm fearful. I don't want, it's not ideal to go through with these procedures and such and have these scars at such a young age and have so much life to live. And meeting Dr. Amron and being told that that may not have to be the case has been such a game changer for me. It's just, it's this whole new perspective that I'm like, oh my gosh, I may not need that. And it's this whole, there's just hope. Dr. Amron has been a huge source of hope for my family. If I could tell Dr. Amron anything, it would just be, he's such an awesome guy. He's done so much for not only my family, but what he does for, I guess, just humanity. There's a large portion of women in America, like he said, almost 11% of women in America are affected by lipedema. What he's doing to bring awareness to that is so crucial, because my mom came across Dr. Amron in his practice and her research when she was looking just about her daughter, you know, why does my daughter have like these, why does she have out of proportion legs? Why are my daughter's legs swelling? Why is she having pain in her legs? And it brought her to Dr. Amron. And if he hadn't been, you know, doing his practice and spreading awareness for lipedema, we would have never probably found out about it. About 2 weeks ago, we were here for Emily, actually. She was doing some interviews to bring awareness to lipedema. And Dr. Amron took me aside towards the end of the day, and he basically did an exam for me, and he diagnosed me with lipedema, said that he does believe that I have lipedema in my arms. And he said that he wanted to help my family out and do this procedure for me, the procedures that I would need. So it was kind of quick. It was it all happened very fast. But he basically just said that he wanted to do that for us. So I didn't fully understand what he meant. I don't know if it was like disbelief or I just really didn't get it. But we were walking out, I was like, thank you. I thought that he was just saying that he could perform the surgery. Christina said that she just kind of looked at me. I was very nervous, and she looked at me and she said, Dr. Amron's gonna do your surgery for free. And I just kind of like took it in, and I almost fell to the floor. I just had to like crouch down, and I just started crying because I've been so happy for Emily to be able to have this treatment. And it's been so amazing to see her be so happy and finally have this relief. But it has definitely been kind of in the back of my head. I've worried that because, you know, it is a big financial stress for my family. You know, most parents don't sign up to have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for what is seen by, you know, society as like cosmetic procedures. They aren't covered by insurance. Most parents don't sign up for that, you know, and they're not prepared to do that. And my parents were. I was worried that maybe I would never be able to have these issues dealt with. Having this dealt with seemed like a kind of far off goal, or almost like a dream. That's how distant it felt. And when he said that it would do it, and it became like a reality. I mean, my main goal for this surgery is just to be freed of the lipedema fat. I feel so out of proportion in my body because it's like my arms are just, I mean, you can feel it. It's like its own being, you know, the lipedema in my arms. It's like, it just feels like there's something else in my body that I just don't want there, and it gets in the way of things. I can't wear certain clothes. It's painful, and I just really want to be rid of it completely and get to see the results that I work so hard for. Social media has been a huge outlet for Emily and I both, and it's definitely, we've bonded over it together. I started right before I had my vertical sleeve weight loss surgery. I started this account, Morgan Losing, because at the time I was 286 pounds and I was ready to lose weight. I was motivated as ever. And I just kind of wanted to, I had found this little community online, just mainly weight loss surgery patients. And so I wanted in on the fun. And so I made my online username, Morgan Losing. And to me, that really meant more than just losing weight. It was losing insecurities, losing anything that held me back from living my truth. And what it turned into was, you know, now at the moment, there's like 50,000 people following my life, and it's evolved from so much more than having weight loss surgery. It's evolved by, you know, a loss of 100 pounds and a gain of self-love and confidence that I never even dreamed of having, honestly. And Emily and I both have been really blessed to have somewhat of a voice when it comes not only to just these issues that women deal with, but the fact that it's okay to be dealing with them, and the fact that like none of us are alone in it. It's so amazing knowing that because of social media, our situation is so much bigger than just her and I. If I could say one thing, it would be don't fear the disease. Lipedema, you're not alone. I know that it can be such a debilitating and scary place to be, feeling like there's something wrong with you, but not even your own doctor can give you an answer. It's hard not knowing. It's hard feeling so out of place, but you're not alone.
Being a parent of two girls that have struggled with being overweight for much of their lives, and I've also struggled with it. It's hard to deal with it myself, but it's so much harder to see somebody that you love struggle with something that's holding them back. You know, and we took them to doctors, the regular doctors, specialist endocrinologists, just trying to see what it was that was causing this and how we could help them, and just always, never really finding answers, and that was really frustrating. And it wasn't until recently when we really started to focus more on diet and exercise and notice that disproportion, again, kind of coming out. And thankfully, we're at a time where now the internet is, such a huge resource that I guess I just didn't utilize before. But I just went straight to the internet and started typing in, just doing searches, trying to find answers. And it was so hard to find information. And so I kept trying different searches until I came across Dr. Amron and one of his patients talking about this condition or disease called lipedema. And it was the first time I ever heard it. But as I listened, I could identify so much with what my girls had been struggling with, and it resonated so much with me.
Both Emily and I, our cases were just dismissed and put down to, you need to work out, you need to eat less calories or different types of food, start being active, go out and take a walk. And this is what our pediatrician was telling us, what the endocrinologist was telling us, the gynecologist. Everyone was just dismissing it to be simple obesity. And while I especially did struggle with obesity as well, there was always this underlying thing, and it's lipedema, and so many women deal with it, but it's crazy how just education on it and awareness is lacking so incredibly.
I was just so relieved to find a doctor that was even within, driving distance. I was a little intimidated by the Beverly Hills address, I have to be honest, because, financial resources are not just so abundant. So it was something that I knew we were committed as their parents to, try to find just more answers. And so to find a specialist like Dr. Amron that it was so knowledgeable, but more than that, just seemed so passionate about getting the word out about this disease. And that is such a reassuring feeling as mom to know that, they're in such good hands with an expert, with somebody that cares, that could help the situation.
And while we were intimidated, like she said at first, just by the Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, that title, it's so crazy how being in Dr. Amron's office, we feel like we're family with everyone who works here, it's we're so comfortable here. I feel in such good hands. I remember on Emily's surgery day, especially, just feeling thank God. Thank God for this man. He is changing our whole family's life, just with Emily's first procedure. It was this is a complete life-changing thing, and he is doing this for us. One man, Dr. Amron. And
when I can't imagine, the women that have struggled with this for years that are, our girls are teenagers. And we're talking, half a dozen years, 5 or 6 years that this has been having such an impact on us. And then to think of women that are in advanced stages that have maybe gone through the same frustrations and not been able to find anybody that they could relate to. It breaks my heart to think that they're struggling with this without answers. So I just hope that, with my girls being willing to kind of share their story and be a voice, that they might be able to connect with somebody that, needs those answers, like you said. And I would just like to say for, you moms out there and dads that, are concerned maybe that you have a daughter that might be struggling with this condition, lipedema. There's answers out there. You just have to continue to do the research. Fortunately, there's a lot more information available online. Don't get discouraged. There's been many times we've been discouraged because we went to medical professionals that just didn't seem to have the answers. But they are out there. Dr. Amron is so accessible. There's a few professionals, but more and more he's working to get the word out so that, you don't have to watch your loved ones suffer and be discouraged and have them be held back in life by lipedema. There is a treatment. There are things that can be done, and it's so worth continuing to fight for it, to pursue information and help and treatment so that, you can see the hope and the sparkle in your loved one's eyes. I mean, that's just been priceless for us.